Welcome in Frankfurt and a very warm welcome here in the Museum Applied Arts for this wonderful event. We are very delighted to have two of the most important European design schools as our guests today. Gerrit Terstiege will be joining me to question the panelists. Let me introduce you to Professor Dr. Francesco Zorlo.
It's not just understanding the know-how or the know-what of things, but thinking about the know-why. Why you are designing a specific product.
Professor Venancio Aquila.
The new generation are really interested in how to solve the new challenge they have for the future.
Dr. Marijke Dekker.
The students have to dive into the history and see what is the meaning in the past of certain products, looking forward what will be the meaning for the future.
Professor Daan van Eyck from Delft.
Yeah, it's very much about methods, the process, and then see how you can come to your goals.
Professor Duifeng Wu from DeLonghi.
If you become a designer, you should also understand where the technical components fit into your proposals.
Last but not least, Dippel engineer Markus Ortei.
We want to really build on something, on the good things. I'm really happy that we can do something like we do today. Bring people together from different nations to do conversation, to exchange thinking, to understand design as a cultural piece, to see the energy of young people and to see the world through the student eyes. It really is something special.
It's a real exciting moment for us, both TU Delft and Politecnico.
Thanks for Braun to make this possible, and you can see it on the pictures. It was a real inspiring happening.
I think every designer's dream is really to make a difference in some sort of way, and I think to make it more sustainable and to design for the next generation.
Then one of the best things to do in terms of sustainability is, as long as it serves a purpose, make sure that it serves the purpose as long as it can.
Let us ask a little bit for the study. What's about theoretical studies for design history or design theory? What role plays it in your school?
Well, actually, in the days that Daan and I studied in Delft, we had an important course called Design History from Henri Baudet. And you probably visited the exhibition that still exists with many Braun products. So we paid a lot of attention to design history. And I don't know the complete curriculum, I have to be honest, because we are now at a tipping point of moving to a new master program. And we just renewed our bachelor program. But maybe the students can disagree, but I think that design history is less addressed nowadays than it was in the past. And well, when you ask about droog design, for instance, I don't know, students, did you know about droog design, Delft students? Can you raise your hand? Who knows about it? Okay, 2 out of 8, 3. Are you a Delft student? Yeah. Okay. So maybe 3 out of 10. So that's a change in the education. Yeah.
So Venciano, what is about design history in your school?
No, this is a good debate. Also, we are discussing about our colleagues coming from history of design. We disagree a bit because the history can have a value in creating and giving the students some anchor to create a better future. So I think now we live in a Gen AI generation moment, and we cannot underestimate the value of culture. Every conference on AI fix the word culture, that is the key to control the AI. And to me, design history means culture. So in our school, we want to maintain the design courses, but for sure we may evolve it, because in our bachelor degree, for example, there were two courses in design, but from next year we will have 1.5. So the first year, strong, let's say, knowledge on the history of design starting from the 900th century, okay, the real history of design. But the second element is something that will relate more with aesthetics, contemporary aesthetics and critics, because we think that also students should maintain their critical approach. So maybe we don't need a new product. Maybe we don't need a new system or a service. We need a new point of view. We need to solve complex challenge for the future. So for this reason, we think that the traditional and cultural lessons coming from the history are relevant and we need to maintain it, but make it them evolve it. So if you don't know the past, you cannot evaluate what Gen AI prompt to you because you are not able to control the system.
Yeah, I just want to say I started my teaching in design history and the Stone Age.
This is, but now we need to shorten it for them.
Yeah, I have to add on my previous saying that within the course that I'm coordinating, Advanced Concept Design, and also the students actually made their work within this course that you can see upstairs. It's built on 4 pillars: on ergonomics, on technology, on culture, and on visualization. So culture definitely is an important part, and for every application, whether it's cooking, the future of cooking, or whether it's improving life of, for instance, painters or the window washers, whatever the topic is, the students have to dive into the history and see what is the meaning in the past of certain products, how it changed over time, and actually looking forward, what will be the meaning for the future. So yes, there still is a research on the history. We agree.
Okay. Also, history needs to evolve. So is a
okay,
exactly.
Thank you, Francesco. What is about theory programs interdisciplinary? So with other students, with engineers, or with in your school, in your giant school, yeah.
Before giving you an answer, I want to add something about the importance of history of design, because many times the problem is how to teach history of design. Also, because I think, design is a very practical, pragmatic discipline also, and if you don't teach history of design in order to use ideas, so experiences coming from the past for the present, this is very difficult. So, and this is the big problem that we have. So, finding the right professors to teach design for designers. About our interdisciplinarity, in Politecnico Milano, the school connects 9 departments over 12 departments of the university. The departments are, silos of knowledge, so dedicated to some specific fields of knowledge. So we have aerospatial, we have chemical engineering, management engineering, and so on. And we connect 9 of these different departments. We have some courses where we put together people coming from these diverse departments, and this is very important even for the students, because you have the possibility to compare your activity with people coming from different fields with different approaches, points of view, and so on. And this is one of the crucial points for teaching design in Politecnico.
Thank you very much. I'm very impressed that you all so like design history, because in Germany, in the moment, it is reduced in the universities.
We want to protect also design history, because, as Ram says, you need to look ahead, but you need to look even back, if you want to propose something meaningful. So something with sense. Sense making is related to the past, so to the flow of experiences.
No design without Renaissance.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Was the thinking. What was about design history in Darmstadt?
Darmstadt. Darmstadt history, it is long time ago, more than 25 years. So I remember in Darmstadt was more like focusing on technical argumentation. Whenever you have designed something, there must be a deep insight of how technical it is feasible or not. If you don't come with those kind of technical solutions, forget about trying convincing the professor that you are doing the right direction. So Darmstadt is very, let's say, driven in a technical way. So I had this kind of, when I, let's say, applied for an internship at Braun and Philips, I had exactly the two comparison. At Philips, they asked me, can you design something out of a gut feel? That was honestly a question Philips asked me, and I said no, because I have been teaching in a different way. And in Braun, everything was like, okay, you have this kind of technical proof. Okay, that's the good argumentation, then we go ahead. I mean, that was a better fit for me at that time, so that's thanks to Peter. He offered me the internship. And since that, I went the journey with more a technical background, which is also, I think, very important from the history. If you become a designer, you should also understand where the technical components fit into your proposals.
You teach in China. What is there with design history? Are they interested or not?
I mean, China has a rich history. I mean, more than 4,000 years. But the point here is that the government and also the schools are teaching it not in a very confident and proud way. They don't really force to really learn about their history. What they learn is more about the European culture. They wanted to adapt to European style. And that is something we can also get copy, but copy with confidence. All the Germans copy UK ones, okay? It's confusion now. You can copy, but you should really copy it very proudly.
Must be good done, yeah.
You would be proud to copy. No, and that's the issue with Chinese students, because they are not teach in the way of thinking. And that's the biggest issue. Yeah. Might be also the advance, let's say, for us, that they are not really in this kind of thinking methods. Yeah.
Thank you.
A question to Markus. What when young design students come to Braun or want to work for your team, what do you expect from them? What should they bring?
Okay. So our products are... Sorry?
What do you expect? Work.
No. So first of all, they should have a good attitude. Yeah, attitude to design something. They should have joy to design, to invent. Yeah, to find new solutions. To maybe even be daring enough. Yeah, to put something on the table which I am not in the first glance confident with or told them to do these things. So something like the shiny eyes, which you sometimes hardly can describe why someone is good or not. And on the other side, I love also these university works, to see the energy of young people and to see the world through the student eyes. And especially in this course, everybody knows I stressed a lot to make three-dimensional mock-ups, which you see upstairs. Which my feeling is that not only COVID, it was because of COVID, people are diving too much into digital worlds. It's also the case because everybody is using smartphones and things and is used to pictures and renderings and whatever. And seeing the models upstairs, I was astonished to see the size for the first time in the course. Oh, it looks much bigger than I expected. So I really would love to see people who have fun to use their hands, to make something with the hands, put it on the table. For sure, you use all these new technologies, the KI, the 3D, the whatever, but a product designer, in my opinion, is still someone who is also a sculptor, someone who has a sense for aesthetics and also for form giving in its three-dimensional sense. So, this kind of things I would expect. And beside that, we are a small team. At Braun Household, we are 6 people. And for sure, the team setup needs to fit also. So I don't want to have people all the same. A good team is because of individuals, because it's like a soup. You have different herbs and ingredients, which makes the good taste of a soup. It's not only salt. So
it's a famous brown soup. Huh?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Let us ask another question to Dan. What's about the relation between design and art? You are technical oriented, okay, but you know that in Germany the Bauhaus, art and design was very close. In the HFG Ulm, there was no art in the school, such as just intellectual things, mathematics and other things. And in German high schools, in German universities, art played a quite important role for industrial designers. I don't tell you what I think about this. What do you think about?
No, I also think it plays a very important role. In fact, what you started in your first comment is we come from the architecture years ago, and then we became our own faculty. But so there's a strong influence there, and also that art side of architecture always been very important. I could even say, I think in our school, it becomes more important also in the Dutch landscape, whereas we were, of course, positioned as technical universities. Of course, we have two other ones in the Netherlands. And now, since about 10 years, even in our research projects, we kind of stimulated and even sometimes forced to work with, let's say, what you call here Fachhochschule, art academies, other schools, to say that's much richer, because the other methodologies, also kind of art methodologies, how can we learn from that? Because it's very much about methods, the process, and then see how you can come to your goals, how you do that. But I think the combination is even at this moment more important than ever.
Francesco, I would like to come back a little bit to the atmosphere. What happens when in your canteen a design student and an aerospace student sit together? What's they talk about?
So this is a very interesting question, because it's a kind of discovery of it, everyone. Also understanding the different way of thinking, the different way of approaching problems and finding solutions, because even aerospatial engineers, they find solutions, but in a different way compared with the designers. In my personal experience, what I see at the end of these experiences, of these merging courses, the designers, they adopt a more focused attention to the problems, so maybe gaining something from the experience with the engineers. And the engineers, they change the lenses, so no more just a pair of lenses, but they put different kind of lenses. They are able to zoom in, zoom out the problems that usually designers do. And this is very, very, very good, enriching the experience of our students.
Okay, thank you. Another question about atmosphere is what role plays the city itself? So Milano, with its cultural background, with all this thing, we ask the same for Delft, of course, but maybe also for Rotterdam and Amsterdam or whatever. What is this? I think it's different if a school is in Novosibirsk or it's in Milan.
Yeah. It's really different. It's really different for two reasons. The first one is about Milano itself, because Milano is like a creative district. So I'm used to say that you have the highest number of creative people for square meter, because there are Politecnico has got more than 4,000 students. Then there is other design schools, almost the same. We have 12,000 students of design in Milano. Milano is a small city because it's not so big, 1,300,000 citizens. So it's not
bigger as Frankfurt.
Yeah, bigger than Frankfurt, but it's not a big city. So as other think about China, and also in China, this is a neighborhood of Shanghai. So just to and so if you think about design as a process for innovation, innovation starts with diversity, starts with different knowledge, and then you have you can circulate this kind of knowledge in a city like this because of the density of designers. And then there is another thing very important. We have local productive systems, and so small, medium enterprises connected each other. They are open to experimentation. So they are close to Milan, or maybe in Milan. So if you have a new idea, you have the possibility to make that idea concrete, because you can find the artisans, you can find small enterprises that take the risk with you, to explore these new ideas. And this is typical of design. What we lost is, let's say, an open bourgeoisie. The success of the masters of Italian design, Sozzas, Gioponti, Zanuso, Castiglioni, was related to the openness of this bourgeoisie, recognizing the experimentation in design, also changing the traditional house with traditional furniture products with something completely new. And we are losing this. No, we are losing this.
Yeah. And what's in the Netherlands?
I think the Netherlands is a bit different because I think it functions more as one city. So the difference is a lot of students and staff who live in Amsterdam, work in Delft. Many students now all live in Rotterdam. It's 12 kilometers. So So Netherlands is, of course, also seen as, I don't know how much provinces there are in Germany, but let's say another part of Germany as 16 million people is a bit like the same as North Rhine-Westphalia. So, and it really functions as one city. And then you see quite a good blend also. So it's not so much about Delft. Yeah, it's a nice place, an old historic place. By the way, we get famous because of copying the Chinese with Delft blue pottery. So that's also another historical aspect from the 1500s. So, and of course, the Dutch always been good to travel everywhere, take stuff, take parts of the language. And we're a blend of German, English, French, etc. So, I think that's part of the diversity, but you also see that in the country. And for us, when we have a meeting at 9 o'clock, let's say, doesn't matter where so much, even in Eindhoven, everybody's there from the whole country. So it's easy. You can go one day, you can go there and come back. So it really is more the Dutch, I think, than typical cities.
Okay. Fong, what is about your cooperation with universities? Is it important?
No, it's very important for us. I mean, within the DeLonghi group, we are not only having the Braun brand. I have here today my two design directors of Kenwood, Samuele Mida. He's the director of Kenwood, Dario Craselli, the director of DeLonghi. So we are a global player, right? So we are selling our product in nearly every market: US, Europe, Russia, China, maybe in the future also India. But here is that we need to find talents who are capable, first, because we discussed about culture, to understand the culture of our brands. So the history of our brands. These are not brands, startups, which has been established 5 years ago. They have a long history. And then second, people, consumers, users, in all over the world, they try to buy something which they recognize as a German brand, a UK brand, or an Italian brand. So therefore, our cooperation with universities keeps us exactly in this momentum, stay in contact with the culture of our users and bringing them back to our daily work to reflect what we are designing.
The best car designers in Germany came from Italy. Isn't it?
Charo, Bruno Sacco. Tell us maybe a little bit about the design processes at the DeLonghi household. Who decides what products needs to be designed and produced, and where do you start from that decision on?
Super question. We had this debate the last 2 days with Enrica. Nah? So who is deciding it? What I can say is I compare two organizations coming from Procter & Gamble, a corporate organization where decisions is done by someone. You never know who's making these decisions, but it can go up and up. But the good thing why I joined DeLonghi is that there's someone making a decision, our president. If really someone is making a decision there, it's the family. It's a family-owned organization. They have built up this organization, and so they have really the feeling of making the right decisions. So that is the difference versus a bigger corporate organization where decisions are made based on a process. But the challenge for DeLonghi as a family organization, we are transforming into becoming a bigger organization. So we grow within the last 10 years. So first DeLonghi, then the acquisition of Kenwood, and then Braun. Then we just recently bought NutriBullet, US brand. Then Ariete, a local Italian brand. now two giants of coffee, Eversys and La Marzocco. So the DeLonghi group is now really managing many, many brands. So therefore, we need to rely on more solid process. And this is under the transformation we're all doing together to really find the right decision gates together with the family.
Marijke, I know that you work together with a lot of industry and companies in Delft. Is it more Netherlands or also international?
It's also international. For instance, within ACD, we have clients like Ford, Braun, also, well, many other international companies. But we also work with Dutch companies, research institutes, also NGOs, hospitals, governmental institutions. So it's really a diversity of clients that we have within the course that we actually look at today at the upper floor for the Advanced Concept Design course. So we have 12 clients, both international and national organizations.
And also in Milan?
Yeah, Milano is almost the same. We just ended up last week, the workshop week, and Fong were one of our teachers in that case. So you have a different hat. You can change exactly the things. But there were PepsiCo, there were Sony, and they came to Politecnico with all their design stuff. And also there were, let's say, many other companies. We do 2 workshop week every year, but also we collaborate with company in the classes during the project, and these companies are both Italian and international at the same level they were discovering. The company highlighted to us that the most interesting things in collaborating with universities that you can anticipate something because you design with new generation for new generation. So this is important because their point of view really change rapidly, and sometimes we have not the capability to stay in point with them, or maybe to visualize coherently which are their needs. So this is the fact that a company like it, not only the solution, but also Marcus were telling about the energy. But this is not only the energy. So because for them, there are different kind of challenge to assess than the ones we have in mind. So they have different kind of product, they have different way of life. You can see upstairs, they will cook in a different way, but cooking in a different way means living in a different way.
That's right, yeah. Sounds good. But so many technological questions today, is the fictional perhaps missing? The fictional, is it missing with all these technical questions? Because technique always seems to find a solution, and then the next solution, and the over next solution. But what's about the big thinking about New World?
Ooh, that's a difficult one. What is the big thinking about the future world? Well, that we have to take care for everything. We designed so many stuff in the past, and I think the main thing, well, we have now 10 bullet points for our future master program, and the first one is actually on education, but I think the first bullet should be on the why we design. So really thinking, is it really worthwhile to put all the effort in? And even more than before, we have to teach the students to make this evaluation, which is not easy, but it should be a really good product, really just, as we say, or sustainable, or whatever label you give it. But the thinking on the why, and is it really worthwhile, I think that's one of the most important aspects.
Francesco, is there the same space in Milan? Do the students have time to think about general ideas?
We need to provide time to think about these general ideas about the future of technology, even because I'm used to say that we are entering an economy of war. And what we are experiencing now is a kind of polarization. No? So you have just black and just white, and not the nuances between these different poles. We need to teach how to enhance awareness about this polarization, So that means that you need to consider humans, of course, but even more than humans. Donald Norman says no more human-centered design, but human plus centered design. So we need to consider even nature, even the future generations. So we are leaving, a planet with less resources to the next generations. You can do this if you put, I think, is a key word at the center, taking care. Taking care even when you design a product. So you have strategies for designing a product in order to involve users to take care of this product. Maybe you can enrich from an emotional point of view this product, or maybe you can add some services in order to expand the durability. So this is the future we want, but it's not so easy. Sometimes we get frustrated because even if we try to push this idea of polarization to understand, so how to overcome this polarization, the context goes in another way.
So we need a planet-centered design in the future. Yes, of course. At last, very short questions about the Dieter Rams Foundation. What about the 10 theses? Is this discussed in your schools, or is it old school and over? Yeah.
I have no school, but okay. No, definitely, it still plays a role. So we convert them in maybe different language, or we focus on a few of them. But as touched already, I mean, sustainability, Nachhaltigkeit, gutes Design ist nachhaltig, is one of the key. Okay, I speak now for Braun. Still, we look in long-lasting design and simple and easy to use. So these are the core we still look for in everything we do, in every product, if you want. I can say that from my side. And also, I hope I conveyed that to the course, also when designing for Braun or with Braun, to look or to have emphasis also on this things.
For Dieter Rams, the foundation is not so much about his own person, but about the future of design. So to conclude, what would you wish, what would you expect by design-orientated foundations like the Ram Foundation, except money?
Wow,
what can we do?
For the foundation?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe promoting conversations, starting from some key issues that we face today. So let's say, so we mentioned some of these key issues, and also the work-life balance, for instance, this idea of slowing down, a different idea, different patterns for consumption, this idea of taking care, a different idea of desire, so desire as a way to take care, so about the surroundings, the artifacts, the humans, and so on, and starting a collective conversation. So that could be a possibility for this foundation.
Okay, it's noted.
I think maybe together with that, it would be nice to have a competition. So to say what are the 10 points over 10 years, and make designs for that and show it, and then have that conversation around these new designs.
Okay.
Maybe helping the universities to try for more clarity, because hearing to all those disciplines of what a designer needs to learn, I think it's if I would be now in the shoes of the young talents here, I would be lost, to be honest. So what you can really try to do is to help those universities to try for more clarity, to simplify, coming back to really what is the authentic role of a product designer. I mean, when I started, there were just 4 or 5 disciplines of design. Nowadays, you have hundreds of disciplines. I'm sorry for that, but it's too far, too complex. Maybe that is something, simplification and clarifying, okay, what's the role of those generations for the future?
So what should we do?
to me, let's say, spend time in working on heritage to the future. So I think the conversation is a good way to starting. Also, I like the competition, but the things is making this way of thinking that Dieter give us, thanks to his product and his, let's say, activity during the year, something that can remain also for the students, because they don't need to, let's say, start every time from scratch. So I think connection with the university, open up discussion, and also diffuse a culture on design, because design now is becoming something a bit confused. I agree, totally agree with Fong. Someone think that design thinking is design. Someone think that there are different kind of story. I think design has a strong tradition because start from a really product-based culture. And you, as a Dieter Rams Foundation, you have these things to diffuse to the new generation.
Yes, maybe showing good and inspiring examples based on actually the knowledge that we generate right now and that we previously generated in the projects, and also explain the how and the why on these projects. So showing showcases.
Yeah, I could envision something like we do today. Bring people together from different nations to do conversation, to exchange thinking, to understand design as a cultural piece. Yeah? And I remember the Braun Prize in the past, yeah, that was a similar feeling, I must say, yeah, that you did something, you, the students, that there were evenings where people gathered together, new friendships were born. So these kind of things I could see as an idea or wish for the Rams Foundation.
Okay, thank you very much. This should not be the last discussion in this house, because Frank Zebner is here. He's a professor in Offenbach, a former dean, and we discussed about to make the next discussion here in with German design universities about art and design. So we will see what is the difference. I thank you all very, very much, also in the name of Gerrit. And now it's time to go upstairs and to see what the young people make. Thank you very much.
I'm Francesco Ieno. I study at Politecnico of Milano. We have the opportunity to work side by side and meet people from Braun design team. It was very inspiring for me and for us. My highlight was the first visit we had in Frankfurt, because we have the opportunity to meet also Dieter Rams. It was very inspiring. For me, a really powerful experience.
My name is Janil Shah and I'm from India. Special about this course was like how you can work in a smart way, going through unconventional methods, looking at the different researches and finding a new and smart way to help consumers to create a solutions in the market and create a product that is sustainable and useful for the future scenarios.
I'm Tom from the TU Delft. Braun came to us, asked us, do you want to design the kitchen of the future? Politecnico Milano was also working on this. So we knew that we would have a sort of intercultural exchange between two, I think, quite different design schools. Both the Italian people inspired the Delft people and the Delft people inspired the Italian people. I think it's amazing what everyone came up with, and also how well the products are made into mock-ups, because that's a really hard thing to do.
Hi, I'm Alessia Vanilli and I come from Milan, from the Politecnico of Milan. I think that is a really good opportunity to communicate with different people from different nations and different backgrounds, also different age and experiences. So I'm so excited and I'm feeling very well in this space.